Yeah. No gray area. And no sitting on the fence neither. Couldn't play by the rules. Said grace with the wolves. Ever did it down and back in the Delta 88 late night when you lose. Overpaid my dues. Affirm my moves. They gon' call it luck, ran it up, and damn, ain't tying my shoes. A few tax breaks and I never.
All right, what's up, guys? This is Raw Detroit back at you with another video. On today, we're going to talk about Jared Goff, and we're going to talk about the Lions possibly making it to the Super Bowl this season. Now, we know that the Lions are coming into the season with a running back mentality. A lot of guys were dinged up last year, and our GM, Brad Holmes, thinks that this is the way to go to running back. So we're going to see if everybody can stay healthy and everybody can do what they need to do in order for the Lions to win a Super Bowl, because I think the only thing for the Detroit Lions is to get to the Super Bowl, and not only get to the Super Bowl, but win it. And that's not going to be easy. But at the same time, we know that the Detroit Lions have one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League, and no other than Jared Goff. Jared Goff will be counted on heavily to be able to lead this young Detroit Lion team to the promised land. And he has all the tools, all the weapons to get it done. The Lions are beefing up the offensive line. You have all the weapons in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs in the fold. And then you also have Sam Laporta at tight end to go along with J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then you also have Tim Patrick, who the Lions decided to bring back in the offseason. And when the Lions did some drafting, they brought a couple receivers in Isaac Tesla from Arkansas, and then they took the wide receiver in the 7th round, Dominic Levitt from Georgia. So we're going to see how these components will be added to the team. Some say that Levitt was drafted to be a replacement for Khalif Raymond, but we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day. We don't know how the offense is going to look, but you always want to tweak your offense. You always want to get better. So I definitely understand, going out and getting some linemen to be your future lineman, because you have to worry about that. So that's the biggest thing. When you got guys that are getting older, you have to be able to replace these guys. And bravo to Brad Holmes for going out and getting and beefing, making sure that this line stays beefy. But we want to talk about Jared Goff in depth, because Jared Goff is going to be the key to the Detroit Lions winning a Super Bowl. We know that he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the National Football League. We know that the talent is there. The only thing with Jared Goff is being able to do the job and get it done. Last year, being put out in the first round by a rookie quarterback, I'm not going to say that was all on Jared Goff. It was a team effort, and the defense just kind of melted, in the second half. And the Lions didn't really stick to what they should have been doing. It was running the football. Jahmyr Gibbs was running all over the Commanders, and they should have continued to run the football in that game, because Jahmyr Gibbs was running all over those guys. But, that was last year. This is this year. Will the Detroit Lions make an appearance in the Super Bowl this season? We know that it doesn't take you having the best record to get to the Super Bowl. We already know that. So you can go undefeated. We know that you can have the best record, but that doesn't mean anything. What means something is that you're going to be able to get the job done in the postseason. And that's the only thing that we're worrying about when it comes to Jared Goff. Will he be able to deliver? Will he be able to get the job done? Can Jared Goff lead this high-powered Detroit Lions offense to the promised land? Can he lead them to the Super Bowl? That is the question that is on a lot of our minds. And we know that he has the talent. We know that he's able to put up phenomenal numbers. He doesn't have to be a dual threat quarterback in order to put the numbers that he's put up. He's thrown for a lot of yards, and he's thrown a significant amount of touchdowns. But the biggest thing is being able to carry this Detroit Lions team and putting this team on his shoulder, and being able to go into the postseason and rip off nothing but wins in order to get to the Super Bowl and win it. So, I'm rooting for Jared Goff to get the job done. It's still unfinished business. So we're gonna put it like this. This season coming in is unfinished business for the Detroit Lions. Since Brad Holmes decided to run it back with everybody, we're gonna say that this season is pretty much it's gonna be unfinished business from last year, because everybody was dinged up on defense. So now with all these healthy players coming back, especially Hutch is already back, we already know, but at the same time, he's still gonna have to be able to trust his body and things of that nature, and he still has to go out there and perform. We still know that Alim McNeil will be coming back sometime in the season. So when he does come back, we know that the defense is going to be ready to go. The defense is going to be ready to go when everybody comes back. But hopefully everybody can stay healthy. Hopefully the Detroit Lions will have a healthy Marcus Davenport for the whole entire season. We're just hoping that Marcus Davenport can play for a whole entire season and that he can also be productive. You don't want a guy that's just playing the whole season and not be productive as well. You want Marcus Davenport to be productive. So, the only thing, man, is we're going to see if Jared Goff can take this team and lead this team. We know that Hendon Hooker doesn't have the experience, but he's going to get the experience by getting the reps. He has to have the reps. So a lot of people need to stop beating up Hendon Hooker, man. He's in growth and development stages. He's just, he's in an incubator, and the only thing that he's doing is growing. Allow this kid to continue to learn the playbook. Allow this kid to be able to make his mistakes, and allow him to do what he's doing, man. Because he is an older quarterback. He is 28, but at the same time, this is what the Lions decided to do. They decided to draft Hendon Hooker. So now you got to just let this man eventually be able to grow out there so that he can be a legit number 2. So if Goff does go down, you're confident that you don't have to go out and get Teddy Bridgewater. You're confident that you don't have to go out and get another veteran quarterback in the playoffs like the Lions did last season when they went and picked up Teddy Bridgewater. You're confident in your decision on allowing Hendon Hooker to be that number 2 quarterback. And I'm confident, man. I'm confident in Hendon Hooker to be able to be the backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions. If Jared Goff doesn't get hurt, Hendon Hooker may never see the field. And I'm not wishing that upon, I would never wish that upon Goff to see Goff get hurt or anything like that. But at the same time, the only time that Hendon Hooker will probably get action on the football field is if Jared Goff gets hurt. And then if Jared Goff does get hurt, then Hendon Hooker is just going to have to take off with this team and continue to rack up wins and continue to win. You still expect your backup quarterback to win you games, even when they get in a football game. You expect for those guys to rack up wins still. So I'm rooting for both quarterbacks. I'm rooting for Hendon Hooker to be able to be that number 2 quarterback behind Jared Goff, and then I'm rooting for Jared Goff to get the job done. Go ahead and get the job done this season, Jared Goff. It's going to be a tough season for the Detroit Lions because they got a tough schedule and it's on the road. A lot of their opponents that are tough, they got to go on the road and play these guys. But the Lions were really good on the road last year, so this is probably the reason why the NFL gave them a tougher schedule on the road, just to see where the Lions are really at. Can they beat some of these teams? Of course they can. Will they beat some of these teams? We don't know until they play. So we can't wait to see, man, what Jared Goff is ultimately at the end of the day is going to bring to the table for the Detroit Lions, because we're rooting for Jared Goff to win a Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions. All that Jared Goff, Jared Goff, Jared Goff, Jared Goff. We're ready to see Jared Goff take this team and put this team on his shoulder and carry this team off to the Super Bowl. And not only to the Super Bowl, but to win it all. That's what we want for Jared Goff. That's what the city of Detroit will erupt. If Jared Goff wins a Super Bowl in Detroit, he always will be the man in Detroit. You know how long the Detroit Lions have been waiting for an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl? It's been a lot of years, and we still haven't made it yet. The farthest we've ever been is to the NFC Championship. And now it's Jared Goff and the Detroit's defense job to get this team where it needs to be. And I think that Jared Goff will do his best this season, but at the same time, he's going to need help from the defense. Defense wins championships, and you got to be able to get to the quarterback in the playoffs. So we'll see if the Lions have what it takes in order to be a Super Bowl contender, in order to win a Super Bowl in Detroit. in order to be that team that everybody is desiring the Detroit Lions to be. All right, you guys, I'm out of here.